How's it going, Gelatis? It's Jivata, here to fill in the 3-week emptiness of my channel. Also here to tell you about my top 10 favorite anime this year. Note that I have more than 10 favorite anime, but in this video we're only doing 10 because otherwise the video would just be too freaking long. But if this one does do good, then I'm looking forward to doing a part 2. Alright, now let's just hop into the list. So number 10 on the list is Death Note. The reason this is only in the 10th place is because even though it's the anime that got me into watching more anime, it does have its flaws. I'm not going to go into full depth about what those flaws are, but I will point out the one that is the first to pop up in my head when I think about the bad parts of this anime, and that is this freaking character. This character was literally the most annoying part of this anime, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna say about this one, because, you know, I really enjoyed it, but it's just this character, that's all I got a problem with, and that's why it's number 10. Alright, now, number 9 on the list is Fullmetal Alchemist, the original. This is also one of the anime that got me more interested in the otaku culture. I love the storyline, I love the sibling relationship of Ed and Alphonse, I love that it can be a fun story, but also has many different elements of horror and tragedy. Everything about it was almost a masterpiece. I loved every second of this anime, but it was the ending that made this number 9 on the list. Something about the ending just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was the appropriate way to end off such an amazing series like this. It made me feel empty. I felt like it built up such an incredible story and then ended it like everything we watched was for nothing. During this time, I didn't know that FMA Brotherhood wasn't a direct sequel, but instead was a remake that followed more closely with the manga. Which brings us to number 8 on the list. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Though I was kind of disappointed at the start of episode 1 because it wasn't what I thought it was. As I said, I thought it was a sequel, but I figured I'd give it a shot and it did not disappoint. After watching the first few episodes, I got literally glued to it till I got to the end. In other words, the ending wasn't trash. It was bittersweet, but also very wholesome, and overall, the series was just so much better than the original. Alright, now number 7 on the list is Rascal Does Not Dream About Bunny Girl Senpai. As many other people thought while watching the series, I also thought that it was going to be about just bunny girls, but when you realize that it's actually not, you also start to realize that it's more about a mysterious syndrome that only affects those in their puberty, and about depression, guilt, and loss, etc. The series made me bawl my eyes out after watching both the series and the OVA. The ending was also bittersweet and I loved it. It's just when the ED comes, that's when I break down and start crying in a puddle, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's a good thing, because when a series makes me so invested in the story that it makes me cry so much at the end, I'd say that's pretty good, and I really enjoyed it. Alrighty, now it's time for number 6, Neon Genesis Evangelion. There's not much I can say about this show, except that it's really confusing to the point that it breaks your brain into itty bitty pieces. The reason why this is number 7 is because I just really freaking love mind bomb anime, which is my own term that I came up with because it literally blows up your mind, because it's so confusing. It's just something about the choice between looking up an explained video on YouTube or watching it over again 5 times to try to puzzle together what's happening on screen. Obviously, I didn't actually do that because I felt lazy enough to watch YouTube videos instead, but I still love this series enough for it to be a number 6. And if you're not looking to have your brain looking like expired mashed potatoes and instead just want to have a good time laughing, then here's number 5 on the list, Konosuba. I simply just love this one so much, and it's because this series is just so funny. Even if you're just chuckling most of the time, it's enough to make you think you're laughing out loud. Not only that, but it's also the anime with my favorite waifu, Megami. So number 4 on the list is Natsuna Taizai, or the 7 Deadly Sins. This is also another one that got me into the otaku culture and was an anime that I just absolutely enjoyed so much. Everything about episode 1 just got me so invested in the story that I tried to watch all the seasons that were available on Netflix as possible, which were only 2 if you weren't watching on Netflix. Yeah, for some reason Netflix split season 2 and made it 3 seasons. I don't understand why they did that, but I guess that's not really that surprising considering that almost everything that Netflix does is just plain stupid. Alrighty, let's get to number 3 on the list, which is Hirashi no nakakuroni, or When They Cry. I love horror anime, and this one would definitely be number 1 if this was a top 10 horror anime list. I don't even want to say much about this one because I truly think that if you're going to watch this, you should go into it as blind as possible. It's that freaking good. And now number 2, which is ReZero, Starting Life in Another World. I don't usually watch many isekais, and I don't really like isekais that much because most of them are just super cliche because it's got poor characters and poor character development. But this one is different because, well, it has all of that. And it has a good story, it's got a good premise, it's got a really good main character, especially at the end, you really start to feel for him. And in season 2, I'm even loving that even more than season 1 right now. But yeah, I just really like this anime. And finally, number 1 on the list is Serial Experiments Lane. As I said before, I really love the type of series that really makes you think about what in the hell is happening. After my first watch, I felt like my brain just exploded. Nothing made any sense to me at all. I had to watch this anime 7 more times just to understand what it was trying to tell me. And that's why this is number 1. I really love mystery, I love horror, I love psychological horror. I love everything about this anime, even if I still don't understand it. So yeah, this was my top 10 favorite anime. If you enjoyed what you saw, smash the like button. If you didn't, smash the dislike button. Be honest. Also, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell to not miss a new one. Ta-ta, gelatis, and I'll see you next time.